BodyBags, where horror lies.
Hi, I'm Sam. I'm your thirsty guy for BodyBags, and this is week 582, nearing the end. This is my last review on the channel, and it's the farewell. It's a little sad, but sometimes, I guess the best way of putting it is, things can only last for so long, but, don't be sad that it's gone, be happy that it happened. And the last 3 years, because it's almost 3 years I've been a part of BodyBags, it's been a very, very interesting ride. The movies I would find and review that I probably never would know of if I never joined BodyBags back in January of, I think it was January 22. Yeah. January 22. Year 2022. So, today, the movie I'm going to review is effectively episode 0 for what I'm going to be starting on my own channel, in which it's Flying Kite 8582. It's in the description. The channel, if it's like 8285 like that, it's there. My channel, Flying Kite's channel. But anyway, the movie that I'm reviewing today is Insidious. PG-13. It came out in 2010. Sorry. I think this is a Blumhouse original. Well, not original, but like this was one of Blumhouse's more earlier products. But I'm not entirely sure. I know they end up getting the rights to it, at least for sure. But I'm not sure if Blumhouse actually started, if this was a Blumhouse movie or not. It was produced by Haunted Films, Stage 6 Films, Alliance Films, and IM Global. It was distributed by Film District, and the release I have is a Sony Pictures Home Entertainment release. The movie is directed by James Wan, and the movie stars Patrick Wilson, Rose Byrne, Ty Simpkins, and Lynn Shaye. There's a few other characters in it, but those were the main ones. And the synopsis of the movie is like 3 minutes in, and now we're talking about the synopsis of the movie. A family looks to prevent evil spirits from trapping their comatose child in a realm called the Further. Now, that was the IMDb one. I'm going to be completely real with you. That synopsis could have been a lot better. I think this probably sounds a lot better. From the makers of Paranormal Activity, Insidious is the terrifying story of a family who, shortly after moving, discovers that dark spirits have possessed their home and that their son has inexplicably fallen into a coma. Trying to escape the haunting and save their son, they move again only to realize that it's not their house that was haunted. It's not the house that's haunted. I'm not gonna, spoil it. Although, then again, it's like, if you're being told it's not the house that's haunted, it's like, okay, makes sense. So I guess first we're going to talk about how other people viewed the movie, or at least to a degree. And, how I viewed the movie. People say this movie is very similar to Paranormal Activity. And of course, it's from the makers of that movie. I see it, but there's another movie I have in mind that feels a lot more closer to home. Jeremy Jahns in 2011, when he reviewed this movie, which is like a 3-4 minute video. Jeremy Jahns. It's a couple points that I wrote down. He said that it seemed like Paranormal Activity. He said the first half is creepier than the second half, and the second half is more entertaining than the first half, in which case I agree with him, because it is. Although I think the second half can be also creepy, but if you're comparing which side was more creepy, then yeah. And then his take on the movie was a good time, no alcohol required. It's a easy it's easy to find that one. It's Jeremy John's Insidious, and you see it came out like 13 years ago. 4-minute review. He looks like a child. Well, not really, but considering how he looks now, and then it's like a huge difference. Of course, a lot happens in a decade. A lot of people really like this movie, but then when they like go and describe the movie, it's weird that like it seems like it's like, yeah, it's a really great movie, but it's a really great movie because it has a lot of cheesy elements, and I'm like, I guess, but like I don't view it like cheesy. There's only one or maybe two scenes or moments in the movie where it's like, okay, that's kind of like, whether it's because they use CGI for a bit that was unnecessary or something to that degree. IMDb grade, 348,165 people altogether say this movie is a 6.8 out of 10. With more people saying 10 than 1. I really like this movie, but I think the thing that I really like about this movie, it's a few things. One, I really like how this and The Conjuring are not the same thing, but they're very similar, and I would say that to a degree they are very similar because James Wan probably listened or watched or read about the real life Conjuring, and if you listen to at least the Astonishing Legends two-parter of the real life Conjuring, they like read the book kind of thing and talk about the book that one of the children wrote when they were older. There's a lot of elements, of course, in The Conjuring, but also in Insidious, there's a lot of elements that you could also see in The Conjuring. The movie, the real life, you got what I'm saying? I hope so anyway. So it's just interesting seeing that, like, if you took the movie Insidious and The Conjuring, combine it turns into the real life Conjuring. But not necessarily, of course, details, right? I really like how Patrick Wilson is one of the main characters in both Conjuring and Insidious. He's crap, I forget what the couple's name is, and I forget. But he's the husband in The Conjuring that, is a part of the couple. It's him and his wife, and they're there to help the family. But then he plays the father in this movie, and in this franchise, it's 5 movies. I don't necessarily think it's a franchise, I guess, but in what they got going on, he's, in 3 of the movies, and it's, a big, important kind of character, especially in the first and second one. The third one, he's a big character, but is he the main character? Not necessarily. Although then again, I should probably revisit that sometime. I think the thing, though, that's really interesting, though, about Insidious is when you're comparing The Conjuring and Insidious, The Conjuring kind of goes about the demons, ghosts, such like that, in a more Christian, biblical kind of lens, and like the answer to defeating the evil is through God, through Jesus. But in Insidious, the answer is, you just go in the void and you find your son, you come back home kind of thing. And if there was anything that I didn't like about the movie, it's that there's only one scene where, Christianity is kind of brought up, and it's after the wife's home alone and, like, some weird stuff happens, she calls a priest, and, like, you only see him for, like, a couple of seconds, and then he leaves when Patrick Wilson opens the door and comes home, and it's, like, nothing else from him. In which case, I think that's why I end up really liking the ending, because, at least from my point of view, without God, without, that kind of help, you find yourself, you could win still, but, it's not gonna, it's either, did you really win, or, like, what it costs to win kind of thing. In which case, if you watch this movie, Patrick, the father, he goes into the further to get his son, and he gets him, and they seemingly get back home, but then there's a plot twist at the very end. Spoiler alert, he doesn't come home. He's still stuck in the further because someone else came home instead. And I think that's a really good kind of representation of, like, things will get worse. But then, like, they made the sequel, and then I don't necessarily remember how the sequel goes about. But I'm sure it probably doesn't use, Christianity or whatever. And, I get it. People view it differently. But that's just how I view it. That's how I look at these kinds of things. I did create a grading system for movies, in which I kind of briefly talk about here, but I'm not going to tell you the grade because I'm also thinking of doing an episode 0, like a spoiler alert for what I want to do on my channel. That's weird. I'm going to do reviews on my channel, and it's going to be one a week. It's going to come out on Wednesdays, and I want to try to, like, not only do franchises, but, like, I want to try to do franchises. So the first franchise I'm going to do, and not necessarily a franchise, but, it's 5 movies, it'd be Insidious. So the first one's going to be episode 0, and it's just going to be a recap of this. I'll just quickly sum up, and then, of course, do my own grading, in which case it's 7 points. And I'm not going to describe it here. I'll describe it in that episode 0, which should come out next Wednesday. Like Christmas. I think it's gonna come out on Christmas Day. I'm pretty sure that's a Wednesday. I don't remember. Anyway, story, music, morals, cheese, gold, humanity, ending. In which case, spoiler, IMDb grade was a 6.8, as I said earlier. It's higher, but not like much higher, ultimately, because I add up the grades and then I divide it by 7, of course, and that's how I get my grade. Whew. But yeah, I think ultimately my favorite thing about Insidious is not necessarily in this movie itself, although I guess that's kind of cheating a bit. Not spoiler, it's kind of cheating. I think my favorite thing is when you watch the 5th one, I guess technically when you watch the 2nd one, and the 3rd and 4th one are kind of whatever, because they're technically prequels, the 3rd and 4th one being, but the 5th one's like 10 years later, and like it's Patrick Wilson, and it's Ty Simpkins. There's still, it's them grown up, especially Ty, because he's like a kid in the Insidious in the 1st one, and he's all grown up going to college in the 5th one. Is how some of the weird things that happen in the 1st one, and even in the 2nd one, ultimately get kind of answered. Although then again, it's like, that's a good and bad, because it's cool that it's getting answered and it's kind of going full circle. It also kind of sucks because, oh, well, it's not really a mystery anymore, because it could have been anything, and now it's something. But, I kind of like that aspect, where everything goes full circle. I really like the effects in this. The jump scares, I think, were pretty good, but of course, you watch it for like the 10th time, it's like, oh yeah, jump scare's coming. It's not really gonna make me jump because I've seen this movie 10 times. But, first time watching it, it's like, yeah, you'll jump, you'll get scared, you might even, pee yourself, but, anyway. Yeah, I guess that's gonna be it, honestly, for this review, in which this is the last, or at least my last, anyway, my last review on BodyBags. I was kind of hoping we could make it to January, so it could be like a 3-year anniversary, or 4, I think it's 3-year, it would have been 3-year, but we're almost there, so, I might cheat and be like, the 3-year anniversary, blah, 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 whatever. Anyway, I'm Sam. I was your Thursday guy for BodyBags. The journey here might be over, but there will be a new journey, and every journey always begins with a single step, that being Insidious, being the first one I do, and then episode 1, the real episode 1, would be Insidious 2, and that will or should come out January 1st. That's Wednesday. That's a Wednesday. It would be the first Wednesday of January. It's gonna come out, or should come out then, probably 12 a.m. And I'm gonna try to actually, like, keep up with it. Because I don't want it to be like this, where the video is supposed to come out 12 a.m. Thursday, and oh, look, it's actually coming out 10 a.m. or 12 a.m., right? But yeah, I mean, I'll be over there on my channel. I'll still be doing stuff, whether it's horror movie reviews or playing games like Minecraft or live streaming football, right? I'll still be around, and you could catch me over there if you would like. I'm not gonna go and be like, you must just choke you out, being like, you must follow and subscribe me. But anyway, if you want to check me out, it's Flying Kite 8582. The link to the channel's in the description, and just hang around there. You know, like and comment. Maybe even what I'll do is you know, every Wednesday it's going to be a review, but maybe every once in a while, like on a random Friday or whatever, you know, some movie would come out, or I'll do like a review of some movie that may have just come out, or it's just a random, like, one movie kind of things, like maybe reviewing like a movie like Rubber, I think, about the killer tire. That would be like, maybe it's called Tire, I don't remember what it's called, but you know, it's like a killer alive tire. You know, that's like its own thing. I don't think there's any sequels or whatever. It'd be like that, and that would be like, it would just come out randomly. So I would say the best thing to do, probably, to make sure you don't miss out on anything, would just be to go to my channel, subscribe, turn the notifications on, and then when the videos do come out, you like and comment maybe a random movie I should maybe review, and I'll check it out and maybe review it, or actually, not even maybe, I'll try to review it, unless it's some movie I can't, because it's like, review this movie that no one has access to. Then it's like, oh, well, that's a tough one, right? But anyway, I'm Sam. I was your Thursday guy for BodyBags. I reviewed Insidious, and, yeah, I think that's gonna be it. I will see you next time, assuming you follow me, of course, to my channel. If not, then it was a fun ride, and I hope the best for you and all the viewers that watched BodyBags. I hope you all have a wonderful day, wonderful night, and then, of course, next week, a wonderful Christmas, and then a wonderful New Year. 2025 is just around the corner. I will see y'all next time. Goodbye.